5 of Tier 2 as the 5 red lights come on. And they're out as we get a good start from Stephen Beecham. He leads the field away. And can he out-drag Crimson down the main straight? He's got a good start here as Stephen, as he pulls to the inside. And we've already got some moves in the midfield. As Zampa moving his way up into P4. Going to have a little luck for P3 as well. As Infrajack already up into the podium positions. As we got some ghosting here off the start. As Infrajack already up into P2. Absolutely lightning is Infrajack now. And Crimson getting back ahead of Infrajack as they all battle through the first sector here. Scones and D. Summers battle. Scones losing out in that battle, but Scones trying to battle with Gunner. As Tyclair watching along here. Side by side they go, and Scones going to try and outbreak Gunner, and Gunner's around. Gunner coming together with Scones as we see cars all over the show. Infrajack getting ahead of Crimson now down the main straight. What has happened, Crimson? Crimson already losing out to Infrajack in the Red Bull here. And Crimson trying to send it back down the inside of Infrajack. Side by side they go. As Zampa may get ahead on Crimson now. Crimson leaves the track. Opens up the door for the switchback from Zampa, and the Williams driver back up into P3. But Stephen Beecham now already has got a 2-second gap here on lap 2. As a big send there from D. Summers on TJ. And TJ keeping it ahead of D. Summers there just about. TJ trying to stay ahead of D. Summers now, but those hard tyres may not be working for TJ. And D. Summers now is the rear wing open on the Williams as the Ferrari of Tyclair also looking to get involved in this battle. He's going to pick the outside of the Alpine. And Tyclair now gets straight ahead of the Alpine as well here as Zampa and Infrajack continue to battle here. And Zampa getting through on Infrajack as Infrajack going to try and fight his way back through on the Williams here. And Zampa going to try and defend this position from the hard runner of the Infrajack. And Zampa, a little bit of contact from Infrajack. But Zampa keeps it ahead now. Control of his car, that would be ideal. As Tyclair now looking for the switchback on D. Summers as we head through the mid-section. As what a move from TJ there. That was so unexpected. A little mistake from D. Summers. Opened the door to Tyclair, who tried to find the switchback, but around the outside of both of them goes TJ and finds his way through. Going to try and make his way forward as Ellis seems to be around in the middle sector. And Ellis going to have to try and get his car back going again as he pulls off the racing line. As Infrajack and Zampa, and who was that around? Raheem around as well. As Infrajack gets ahead of Zampa now. Crimson going to look for a way through on the Williams as well here. As Zampa's a little bit of a tap with the McLaren. As Infrajack continues to protect this position as Crimson with a big send down the inside of Infrajack. And a lovely send there from the McLaren as Infrajack now round the outside, fighting his way back through again. And what a move from the Red Bull if he can pull it off around the outside as they go wheel to wheel. A bit of a wheel tap as Crimson and Infrajack come together again. And Infrajack back ahead now. Absolutely masterful defending from Infrajack as he continues to battle Crimson and Zampa here. And look how close we are as TJ now on the inside of Zampa. A little bit of a wheel bang between Zampa and TJ. Oh, and Zampa just clips the inside tyre of TJ, and TJ around. Manage these mediums a bit longer in the race. If you can get these mediums to lap 16, you can go on hards to the end quite comfortably. As Zampa now down the inside of Infrajack, side by side they go. And Infrajack trying to protect this position now, but Zampa on the outside with DRS. And ERS, Zampa's back through again into P2. The V-Carb going to keep it ahead. Crimson picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help the McLaren in the battle for victory here as Tyclair comes in. Zampa going to stay out as Stephen now back up into P4. Gets ahead of A54. And Zampa now going to come in lap 14. I think he can go to the end there. Oh, as A54 coming into the box. And that's opened the door for D. Summers now. Round the outside, but A54 didn't even come into the pit lane. That was strange. As Crimson now on the inside of D Summers as they race down into turn 1. It's a drag race between the McLaren and the Williams. And as they head down to turn 1, D Summers outdrags the McLaren now, and D Summers up into P3. And also Lime on the inside of the Haas. Can he go for a move down into turn 1? Side by side they go. Big contact between Lime and Factory. And Factory losing massively out to the Aston there. A54 again. And now this time, with DRS and ERS engaged, can the Aston Martin get round the outside of the V-Carb? And into P12 as he's mid-centered on the inside of Ollie Bean, as well as Ollie Bean has a big shunt with the rear of Lime. As they're both shot in the rear of Lime, trying to stay ahead of each other as Ollie Bean goes side by side with A54. And A54 losing out there, but Ollie Bean, did he get any damage on the front wing of his car? I'm not quite sure. As A54 dives it on the inside of Ollie Bean, side by side they go. More contact between the Mercedes and the V-Carb. And Ollie Bean may get through here on the V-Carb, still side by side, but Ollie Bean finally gets ahead. And Ty trying to catch some drivers unawares as Zampa now going to push to get ahead of Andre now. As there's a yellow flag around, I believe it may be Lime or Scones, as Zampa has been clipped around by Andre, and a big collection, and Zampa's out of the race. Zampa's out of the race after being collected by Lanky One, and it's a safety car here on lap 21. Well, certainly. Oh, what was he doing? What did he do? What was Stephen doing? Which is a bit of a strange one, as Crimson on the rear of Stephen Beecham. Stephen defending for his life here. Cars absolutely everywhere. Crimson makes a mistake. D Summers goes through the middle sector. We're side by side. So risky to go side by side through here. And Crimson somehow gets through on Stephen. What a massive move there. As Inverjack going to look through on the inside of Stephen as well. Backs out now as D Summers now round the outside of Stephen. Side by side they go. And D Summers gets through. But D Summers has to hold on to the rear of Crimson. Otherwise it'll be Crimson's race to lose. And Stephen now under pressure from Inverjack. And Stephen goes deep into the final corner, which opens the door for a switchback from Inverjack. And Stephen now down to P4. And he will be absolutely gutted with his mistake. As Stephen now battling with Inverjack. Stephen has still straight line speed here to get back ahead now as D Summers into the lead now. Side by side he goes with Crimson. Can D Summers get ahead of the McLaren? No. Crimson going to stay ahead now. As Inverjack looking on the rear of Stephen Beecham. And Inverjack now round the outside. Can he get ahead? As Andre also looking on this battle as well. As Inverjack goes very deep and around. And breaks so much later than the Ferrari and gets through. Here's straight line speed here to the Mercedes despite having DRS. Ollie Bean. I'm going to look on the inside. Brakes later. And breaks deep into turn 1, which allows the V-Carb back through again. Lovely switchback from the V-Carb as Ollie Bean trying to get his way through on the V-Carb. And Ollie Bean again sending it on the inside of the V-Carb. Side by side they go. And the Mercedes leaves the track now, battling with the V-Carb. But Ty on the inside of the Red Bull. Can he find a way through? Side by side they go into turn 1. And Inverjack going to keep it ahead of the Ferrari. As the Ferrari trying to search for a way through on the Red Bull. And Tyne on the inside of the Red Bull as the Red Bull almost causing contact with the Ferrari. And Tyne on the inside of Inverjack. Side by side they go. And Inverjack back through again as Ty looks for the switchback. And what a switchback it is from Ty. Beautiful move. Inverjack on the outside. Can he keep a wheel in? I don't think he has it. As Ty does get ahead of Inverjack now. And this race has been so dramatic now. Meanwhile, Andre on the final lap getting ahead of D Summers. And Andre can be looking at his first podium in WHF as he gets ahead. Meanwhile, Lanky getting ahead of Ty Clear. And this is a bit all for naught. The final corner now. Crimson in the McLaren will win here in Mexico. Here in round 5 as Lanky and D Summers battle side by side. And Lanky getting round the outside of D Summers. Who has better penalty situation though? As we all round the final corner, it's a drag race to the line. And Ty Clear finishes P2 as Lanky gets onto the podium ahead of Andre, ahead of D Summers. Meanwhile, Lime and Inverjack battle to the line as TJ jumps all the way up to P6 ahead of line because of his penalties. Factory up to P8, Creekery into P10 as Scones has had a spin. Dubsy up to P10, Creekery into P11. And there you have it, Crimson picks up his first win in WHF as Ty Clear moves up to P2 along with the lanky one finishing in P3. Meanwhile, Andrew, who got a season best P4, unfortunately drops to P6 with a 10-second time penalty handed out by the stewards after his contact with Zampa, which would bring out the safety car. And also for a bit of context, the season's championship leader of Stephen Beecham did want to pit under that safety car, but it accidentally picked the softer tyre allocation, so he had no fresh mediums or hards available, which unfortunately scuppered Stephen's chance at his first win here in Tier 2. And as we look at the standings, Stephen does still keep his championship lead, but his teammate of Ty Clear starts to catch ever so closer. 8 points separate the pair as we head to Texas next time out for round 6 before the mid-season break. Crimson with that win jumps up to P3 in the championship. He could be a late challenger as well for the championship. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe and send this to your nan. I've been WHF Arrow. Thank you all for watching and goodbye.